Dax Shepard is here, friends. He's here.
Hey.
Hello, Ryan. Hello.
Hello. And he just said as that song was ending, he said, you know what, Ryan? I'm coming for you.
Well,
I think I know what you mean.
I wanted to know if you felt that way, because in fact, I'm not. I want to pray at the altar that is Seacrest. I'm a fan. I root for you. I don't even need to occupy your shadow, but people have pointed out to me that it appears I'm coming for
It appears that way. I mean, I'm looking at the laundry list of things that are going on. Multiple TV shows.
Too many.
Got your podcast, Armchair Expert. You've got your baby product line. You got a game show.
I sell fruit on the corner in Los Feliz.
Which is fine. It's fair. Now, the podcast, by the way, you won an iHeart Award. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yes, we beat Dr. Death, which is unfortunate because they were a much better podcast than us.
What do you like to? What's most interesting to cover when you sit down with people?
I think generally the conversations steer towards, okay, you got money and you got famous. Did it cure all of your existential crises? And generally the answer is no, and I find that fascinating.
I don't know if I read it or heard it that you had said somewhere that you didn't know if you were the marriage type of guy until you met Belle.
Well, yeah, most certainly. I didn't believe in it as an institution, in that I was not religious. I'm still not religious. And then, so the notion of like proving to the state of California I loved somebody seemed weird to me.
Right, I understand.
Yeah, but with that said, it occurred to me that this person I loved a lot did want to be married and believed in it. And I thought, well, I can certainly give somebody something they want if it makes them happy that I don't necessarily,
So had she not have been such an advocate of the institution of marriage, you could have been fine just being in a committed relationship forever.
I would have just knocked her right up.
Yeah.
Like on the day I proposed to her, I would have instead said, hey, let's
be life partners.
Yeah. Let's raise a family together and live together forever.
So is this tattoo in lieu of not wearing a wedding band?
Yeah, so
because he has a bell tattooed on his wedding.
Well, he had that before.
I know.
He went to Philadelphia and he loved the Liberty Bell so much.
Ironically, my wife is in the historic video at the Liberty Bell. It was one of her first acting jobs. She's
You're kidding.
Like, no, I'm not kidding. She's like
That's
18,
amazing.
and they bought like a 300-year lease on her image. But
that's very funny. Michelle Pradas is in the studio early this morning. Great to meet you in person and have you in. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
She stars in Vida, season 2 on Stars. Season 2 that's a big deal. It's been renewed also for another season too, hasn't it?
For a third season, yeah. It just got announced a few weeks ago, so we're really excited.
I feel like it sounds cliche for me to say that the show breaks barriers, but in your view, why has it resonated with so many people?
Well, I think what's revolutionary about it is the fact that we're seeing these brown bodies and seeing, these neighborhoods getting painted in this way. But what's revolutionary is how normal it is. You're like, oh, there's those neighborhoods in East LA. It's gangs, it's drugs, it's this. And then you kind of actually get invited into the living rooms the way that our show does. And you're just like, oh, actually, yeah, I sometimes cry myself to sleep because I'm not really sure about my life or, or have like family issues or whatnot. So I think that's a big part that really makes people happy to see themselves kind of shown so lovingly.
Darren, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for
Hi, guys. Hello.
for coming in this morning.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
Psyched about this song that you and Steve did.
Yeah, it's really funny. I think like all the things in my life, it starts off as me saying to a friend, it'd be crazy, and then that just kind of gets carried away with itself because I'm a '90s kid and I've been in countless '90s cover bands, and I've always said to my friends, especially when EDM was becoming more and more popular in the United States, I was like, wouldn't it be funny if I took Dave Matthews' seminal Crash Into Me, his 6-minute Crash Into Me, and I turned it into like a 3.5 banger. I knew exactly what I would do. And the joke all came from the drop of that song, which is the guitar part.
Right.
I just imagined myself in Vegas with CO2 cannons going, and it was just a joke. And then when I got to meet Steve, I basically gave that same pitch, and he just looked at me completely seriously. He's like, that's awesome.
Yeah, when are we going in the studio?
And so we recorded it almost immediately. I mean,
That's awesome.
It just came from total just abandon and having a good time and loving Dave Matthews. So the fact that it's a real thing is just
I'm a
hilarious to me.
huge huge Dave Matthews Band fan.
Yeah.
Like, go to the shows, geek out. When I try to go backstage. They keep me from going backstage now because I'm so excited to see him every time.
He's next level.
Laurie Gelman is in the studio. LG, the original LG.
The original LG.
The original LG. We should be calling you that.
I was Laurie Hibbard when I met you, though.
I know. So listen to this. So Laurie married to Michael Gelman, executive producer of Live with Kelly and Ryan, which also he was the producer of Live with Regis and
Kathy Lee
and Regis and Kelly and the whole run.
Kelly and Michael.
And I tell him all the time that when I was a little boy out of school in the summer, I saw him on the show with platinum blonde hair. Like, he's been here a long time, right?
Yeah.
I know he hates it when I say that, but it's true.
He really does.
But he looks great. He does look. He keeps
thinks
himself.
of you as his, compadre.
Right. But I mean, I remember coming up from swim practice as a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she's written a book that went to the top New York bestseller book. We're going to get to the second book she's got out. But first, I just want to bring you in on something. You've been married for how many years?
19 years.
This is what we all want, right? 19 and counting.
Together, 25. Yeah. Wow.
We met how many years ago?
No, it was in 99, was it?
So that's 20 years ago?
20 years ago.
So did you meet Michael around the same time?
No, I met him. We've been together 25
That's right,
years. Yeah.
Okay, they've been together.
Yeah.
But we worked together on a pilot for a TV show.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was the host and Ryan was a roving reporter, if you can believe it.
I was out in the field.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And she was the anchor. Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah.
Do you
Didn't go anywhere.
Called? Where was it based out of?
It got killed. It got killed immediately.
Killed.
Yeah.
It was called Daily Edition.
Daily Edition.
Yeah.
That is it.
Where did you guys shoot it? Was it in LA or?
It was in LA. Yeah.
Wow.
And she was the anchor. And I was out just like roving around asking people stuff on the street. Anyway, so it didn't see the light of day, and then turns out we end up seeing each other in this life now. Which is
but
really
here
cool.
I take a nosedive into oblivion after that, and then I walk home and I see Ryan on American Idol. I'm like, I know that guy.
Well, listen, Laurie, I was just waiting in the pocket. I was waiting in the pocket. I didn't want to show my stripes too soon.
Yeah.
Hannah Brown, Hannah B, the Bachelorette is here. What a week! What a last few weeks. She's smiling though. I mean, you look happy about it or relieved.
I mean, what else would I do right now? You just got to smile through it,
All right, so I know this is going to rehash a lot that you've been through, but just to bring everyone up to speed, spoiler alert. So you were proposed to, you said yes, then you broke up with him, and you're with no one. Is that sum it up?
That's
that's kind of like right?
The Cliff Notes version.
That's Cliff Notes version. Broke up. The premise of that breakup was because you found out some things you didn't know, and he was not truthful, or he didn't give you the full picture at first, right?
Yeah, I did not know anything about any type of relationship while making my choices and my decisions.
Because this is Jed. He told you that.
Jed told me, nothing about his relationship. I did know that he didn't really know what this whole thing was, what the Bachelorette was. He used it or initially came on for his music and then started developing feelings for me. But honestly, I thought there are a lot of guys there see this as a platform and an opportunity. Sure. So I kind of took that and was like, okay. But the whole big thing with him having a relationship before, I didn't know that until after.
Did you read about
engaged.
It in the press? And that's how you found out?
Yeah,
like we all
the extent. Yeah, I knew the day after I got engaged that he was hanging. He had hung out with a girl. Was his words, and
I can't.
It was nothing. And then they had ended even just hanging out a week before, which is obviously not the case. So
Eugenio Derbez is in the studio with us. Great to see you, my friend.
Thank you, Ryan. Great to be here finally with you.
I know.
Radio.
I was telling Sissany earlier that when we were talking last week, I really was struck by your story. I mean, obviously, you had so much fame in Mexico, but you felt momentum here in the States, and you kind of picked up everything and moved.
Everything. I mean, I don't know how to explain this, but imagine, I don't know, Adam Sandler one day saying, "I'm done here. I'm gonna go to China to start a career in Chinese."
Right.
And especially imagine that in China nobody knows him. So it was really scary. and everyone thought I was crazy, but I felt it was the right moment. It was now or never. Usually, I'm the voice for Jim Carrey and Eddie Murphy in Latin America.
No, are you serious? That's
So-
hilarious.
Oh, wait. You're kidding.
No, really. If you have the DVD of Shrek, just switch to Spanish,
And that's you?
and that's me.
Oh.
I'm the donkey for Shrek for all Latin America, and I just did The Secret Life of Pets that it's opening in Mexico in August 9th, and I'm Snowball, so I'm Kevin Hart.
That's amazing.
Wow.
I met Kevin Hart at the premiere like a few weeks ago, and he was like, "Tell me how I sound in Spanish."
That's my
God.
favorite fun fact about Eugenio today.
Yes.
So the Angry Birds movie 2 in theaters August 16th. It just sounds like things are lined up for you, man. I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy.
Taron Egerton is here. Rocketman, it's in theaters today. He gives you his diaries from the early to mid 70s.
That ain't one you want to spill coffee over, is it?
These are the originals.
Yeah, they're the originals. Yeah,
And no one really
They're
outside his
so-
closest had read them, yeah?
they're so hilarious. He's very economic in his writing style. So it'll be like the washing machine's broken. Wrote Honky Cat. And that's a day. That's a day
Where's
in the
all
life.
Where's the
It's like,
between?
come on, I need some meat. But no, he doesn't. He just.
But
he
he could do it like that, couldn't he?
He did. He's just this incredible genius. Yeah, when he writes, it just pours out of him. He says, you ask him about his process of writing songs, and he can't talk about it. He says, I don't really know.
It just happened.
I just play. I read the lyric, something plays in my head, and I just do it. And all of these classic songs, they're all written in about 35, 40 minutes.
Do you remember what stood out the most after reading his original writings in those diaries? What struck you the most in it or about it?
I mean, obviously some of it's quite personal, but one thing I did notice is the pattern of late nights and bad behavior.
Yeah.
Oh.
The movie starts out with
Yeah.
him in rehab.
So
Totally.
the movie starts out with him in rehab. So you'll get a passage where it's like stayed up all night playing pinball with whoever,
Yeah.
Yeah.
playing pinball machines, and you sort of go, okay, I think I know what was really happening there. And then the next day it'll be something like he's really acted out in a restaurant and smashed a plate of French fries or something, and you can just see that this guy, he was compromised by this terribly unhealthy lifestyle he was
Yeah.
living, and that's what our movie does. It seeks to slightly humanize some of that turbulence and explain it.
Well, we've been following him around the world. We've been following him on his Instagram. We have been talking about him. We have been ontasing him. And here he is in the flesh. Our very own ontas, Diplo, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
Wes,
Thanks for the warm welcome.
well, welcome. I feel like you're on the go every day of the year. I follow you, so I see you running through airports all the time.
Yeah, I've been lucky this year. I haven't missed one flight.
You haven't missed a flight? Well, that's because you sprint on the moving sidewalk.
I do. I'm like the airport Jesus. I just don't miss flights. I take like 300 a year. I've missed none.
And then
So,
the other question is the necklaces that you wear.
Right.
I need a necklace. I need a silver chain.
Yeah, you do.
I do. Right.
Yeah.
Not a thick one, but like something that's cool.
I think
that's subtle.
I can help you pick out a good like thin Cuban links.
That's what I need.
Yeah, I got you.
So it just shows right here. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
we'll go to Icebox in Atlanta one day. There's my friends. We'll get you.
Okay.
My parents live in Atlanta.
Yeah,
we'll stay with them.
Perfect.
Perfect. I get a discount. They love me.
Hey, we were also talking earlier. There was word that you were at this wedding of Sophie Turner and Joe Jonas.
Yeah.
How did you end up there?
Well, I'm glad you asked because I have some songs I'm doing with Jonas Brothers, and
Yeah.
I'm friends with them. And so I was talking to Joe today because there was a story that came out that he was like mad about me, and he called me today to apologize that the story out because it was like in England they love the drama.
Right.
So well, I guess I'm ruining it now because I was going to continue to have beef with him before the record come out. So yeah, I'm not going to finish the story. I'm not going to finish the story.
All right, but
you just got to pay attention to me and Jonas's beef. I'm coming for him.
But you did live stream it, so the
I
world.
did.
Thank you for hearing us. We wanted you to live stream.
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
We heard our calling.
I didn't know it was a serious wedding. We were like at the. I didn't know. I really didn't know what was going on. I was hanging out with them after it was Billboard Awards.
Yeah, it was
Billboard.
I was hanging out with them. And I just was like, this is crazy. Let me record this, and there was mad people with cameras. I thought it was like I didn't know I was like the only person recording this thing.
Well, and Elvis was there. I mean, who would think?
Yeah.
Who would think it's their
I
ceremony?
was sitting next to Khalid. We were all both like with our phones on. I was like, I had no idea that I was the only one doing it, but whatever.
So you're working on music with them. Can you tell us anything about that?
Not we have a song coming out later this summer. Me and them. I've been working on some weird stuff. I've been doing country music, and it's kind of like a country vibe with them.
Yeah, because you were at Stagecoach.
Yeah, I did Stagecoach, and I launched kind of like a little country project.
I just want to say we get a chance to meet a lot of people, and it is so special when you see something that impacts you in a way and you say, not only am I going to tell my friends about it, I'm going to invite this person to tell a lot of people about what they did to me. This is one of those moments for me on this show. Brené Brown is here. Brené, it's so nice to meet you in this moment.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Welcome.
This is a really fun place. I like it here.
This is fun. This is fun. Now, you definitely struck me, and I know you've done that with millions of people around the world. But one of the things that you talk about a lot is vulnerability.
Yes.
And how difficult it is for us to be vulnerable.
Yeah. I mean, because, weren't you raised to believe that's weakness? I mean, we were raised
100%.
Yeah. Like, fifth generation Texan. I totally remember this scene on a beach in Mississippi growing up. I was like 5 years old, and I saw the people next to me had goggles, and I was like, Dad, can I have some goggles? And he knelt down in front of me and he said, we don't wear goggles in our family. And I'm like, what? And he goes, picture this, sis. You're out at sea, miles away, and your boat goes down, and you can't swim back because you don't have any goggles. And I was like, I'm 5. Like, I'm going to die either way. But I just remember thinking at the time, like, we didn't do goggles or training wheels, or I was raised to believe that being vulnerable was not only weakness, but it made you a sucker.
Yeah.
And so I spent, I think, most of my life trying to outrun and outsmart vulnerability,
Wow.
And then the great irony of life, of course, is that I become a researcher, and I spend 7 years trying to understand, what do these people who believe in themselves share in common? And the answer was vulnerability.
Well, for me, I related in a way of politeness. So I grew up in the South as well.
Yeah.
And we never wanted to make anyone think we were troubled, and we always wanted to be very polite. And by being polite, you're not vulnerable, right?
No.
Because like everything's fine. And forget about me, how are you? And so I find that to be similar in a way, the politeness thing that you're taught as a kid.
No, it's really funny. I do like 90% of my work in organizations right now, and the number one barrier to courageous leadership is the refusal to have tough conversations.
Yeah.
And so when I ask people, so if you're pissed off at someone, or you're frustrated, or the performance isn't what you need it to be, and you're not willing to talk to them about it, what do you do? And this is such a Southern answer. Oh, we don't talk to them, we talk about them.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Behind their backs.
Yeah, totally. And I'm like, that's neither nice nor polite.
Hi, guys. It's Tanya here, and I am joined today by the wonderful, amazing, one of my favorite artists out there, Andy Grammer.
It is so good to be with you. How are you, my dear?
Thank you. The applause. I love you so much. I've known you for years.
I love you more.
And not possible.
Possible.
You're one of my favorite artists because you make music that matters.
Oh, man. Thank you. I think that all music matters. I will fight. I will fight for you. I always do until my heart is black and blue. And I will stay with you. We'll make it to the other side like lovers do. And I'll reach my hands out in the dark and wait for yours to interlock. I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you. 'Cause I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up, no, not yet. Even when I'm down to my last breath. Even when they say there's nothing left. So don't give up on. I'm not giving up, no, not me. Even when nobody else believes. No, I'm not going down that easily. So don't give up on me. And I will I'll hold on to you. No matter what this world will throw, it won't shake me loose. And I'll reach my hands out up, no, not yet. Even when I'm down to my last breath, even when they say there's nothing left. So don't give up on, I'm not giving up, I'm not giving up, no, not me. Even when nobody else believes, but I'm not going down that easily. So don't give up on me. I will fight for you.